Hello and welcome to this tutorial on multi-indexing, or sometimes it is also called as hierarchical indexing. Now, multi-indexing is just one step ahead of the normal indexing that we saw in the previous lecture. So let us just get started. We'll first import pandas as PD. Now I'll import the data frame from this data folder, and it is a multi-index warehouses.csv. Okay, now the data frame looks quite a bit messy right now, but we will make it cleaner. So now what I know is the first three rows, the first three columns, basically these are my index columns, and my first two the first two rows are my column values. Okay, I'll tell you how and why exactly. First we'll say index underscore column is equal to 0 comma 1 comma 2, and my header is equal to 0 comma 1. Okay, so now this is my data frame. So now I'll explain what the data frame is. For example, assume that I have three warehouses. I have warehouses in three of the states, like the New York state, California and Texas. In each of those three states I have my warehouses in three cities like Buffalo, Ithaca, Beacon, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Houston, Arlington and Austin. And in each of those warehouses I sell mobile, TV, AC. Okay, so it is true for all of those warehouses. Now I have started recording data since 2010, and I have done so in batches of two. For example, I have done for the first half of the year, then for the second half of the year, as to how many mobile phones Buffalo, New York, for example, for how many mobile phones the this Buffalo warehouse sold in the Jan to June semester for the year 2010, and so on for each of the values for each of the warehouses. Okay, so now I know that this data set might look a bit daunting at first, but don't worry, this is a very easy one, and we will see how to dissect it. Now the first step is to sort this index, because this New York is coming before California, and California is coming before Texas. So we need to sort it in an ascending order. I'll tell you why. Because if I just say df dot locate, and I'll ask if now if I ask pandas to locate from New York warehouses, basically from the starting, if I need all the data points, if I pass in this tuple. So now for multi-indexing we need to pass in a tuple of values. For each of those values, for each of the index values that we need to pass in as a tuple. We'll get into more detail later. Now if I pass in just this, and I'll say give me all the columns, and rows I need from the New York warehouses. For basically from the starting, if I need all the rows, if I execute this, it will give me an unsorted index error. Okay, and it will show me some key length 1 was greater than the multi-index leg sort depth of 0. Now we can easily get over this error by first sorting the index. So we'll say df dot sort index, and we'll say in place is equal to true, because currently it is in place is equal to false. We'll say in place is equal to true. So now our data frame is sorted, and it looks something like this. The California warehouse is first, then the New York, and then the Texas. And even in the cities one, I have Los Angeles first, then San Diego, and then San Francisco. So all of these are sorted in ascending order now. Okay, so now we'll first now I'll show you whether this line of code executes or not. Okay, so if I execute it again, now you see that it is executing. Now it is giving me all the rows from the New York warehouses until the end of the data frame, because that is what I asked here. I wanted from New York warehouses, I wanted to start from New York warehouses and go until the end, and I needed all the columns. So it is giving me all the columns, and also now it is giving me all the rows from New York warehouses. until the end of the data frame. Okay, so now we will first give these indexes and these columns names, because currently they do not have any names here. So what we'll do is we'll say df dot index. If we see what is this index, it will show us that this is a multi-index as we expected. Now if I call the names attribute of this data frame, it will tell me it is a frozen list and it is none none none, because I currently do not have any names for each of these three levels of my index. So I'll just quickly give them names. State, the second one is city, and the third one is my product. Okay, similarly I'll do for the columns. I'll say dot names is equal to, the first one is my year column and the second sub column is my semester column. Okay, so which semester of the year are we talking about? So I'll first say the first is the year and the second is semester. I need to pass it in the same order from the outermost to the innermost. Like outermost is state, so I'll pass in the state first, and for the columns, the outermost is 2010, the year, so I'll pass in the year first. So now if I see what my data frame looks like, I'll see a much cleaner one. Now it tells me that the first layer of this index is a state, then it's a city, second one, then third one is a product, the first column is a year, and the second one is the semester. Okay, now the next step that we will look at is, since we imported this data frame from a CSV file, this 2010, the year which we are seeing here, this is not exactly a number. I'll show you what I mean. I'll say df.columns. Now as you can see here, this is a string because it is enclosed in apostrophes. Okay, so in quotation marks basically. So this is a string currently. So if I want to access, for example, uh, now we'll see what this data frame is basically. Now we see that this California warehouses is written just once here, but it is highlighting all this L shape. It is highlighting each of these rows. Now Los Angeles is written only once here, but it is highlighting all of these three rows. Now we'll see why it is so. Now the first 6 rows that we have here, or rather the first 9 rows we have, are for California warehouses. As we can see here, the first the under the hood it is saving as California warehouses for all the first 9 rows. For city it is saving Los Angeles for the first 3, San Diego for the next 3, and San Francisco for the next 3. Now for the purpose of brevity and niceness, it is showing us California warehouses just once, while under the hood it is saving this 9 times. Okay, so if I want to access this, suppose this 27 number, what I'll do is I'll look for the row index of this 27. I'll see that it is California warehouses, San Diego, and mobile. So this 27 is uniquely determined by all of these three levels of this index, like California warehouses, San Diego, mobile. And for the column, it is uniquely defined by the 2010, and then in the July to December sub column of this 2010 column. Okay, so basically I was talking about this 27 number. So to access this 27, what we will do is I'll say df.locate, and now I'll pass in row and column. Okay, so this is basically the, I'm just telling you this because if you adopt this convention, it will be very helpful for you in the long run. You will not run into unnecessary errors. So for the row I want this 27, so I'll go here, I'll see that it is under California warehouses, now it is under San Diego, and it is under mobile. So I'll pass in all those three in the same order. So I'll pass in warehouses, then San Diego, and then it is under mobile. The third layer is the mobile. Okay, now for the column is basically the first row, the first outermost column is the 2010 column, and the second one is July to December. Now if we assume that this 2010 is an integer, and we pass 2010 here, and for the July to December we know that it is a string, so for July to December we'll pass it in this order. Now if I run this, it will show me a key error. It will tell me that this 2010 does not exist, but as we can see here, 2010 does exist here. So what is the issue? So the issue is, if we see df dot columns, we'll see that this 2010, 11, 12, 13, these years are basically strings, because these are enclosed in quotation marks, right? So these are basically strings here. We need to convert these into integers. Now to do this, what we'll do is we'll say df dot columns dot set levels. Okay, so now first we'll see how we can convert these strings to integers. We'll say give me df dot columns dot levels, show me the levels here. So it will show me the two levels which I have here. The first level is the year level, and the second level is the Jan to June and the July to December level. So I have two levels here. If I check the length of this level using the len command, it will show me it has two levels. Okay, so now if I want the 0th level, basically the first level of this, it will give me the year level which I was asking for. Now I can simply say dot as type, and I can pass in int here. So what this will do is, this will convert those strings to as type. If I pass an integer here, it will convert them into integers here. If I pass in here float, it will convert them into float, but we know that years are integers, so I'll just pass in here int. Okay, what I'll do is, I'll first say that since I need to convert the 0th level, that is a 0th level, as we saw here, this is a 0th level. I want to convert this from string to an integer. I'll pass in levels is equal to the first. Basically when I press shift tab under this method, in this method I'll first get a levels at levels parameter here. So levels is basically what I want to change. Okay, so I basically can convert change this whole 0th level. Right, so what I have done here is, I have just placed, instead of all these strings, I have placed these integers here using this code. Okay, now I'll tell pandas what level should it assign to. We know that this is a 0th level, so I'll pass it level is equal to 0. Okay, so now as you can see here, this multi-index, now these are no longer strings, these are integers. So and I'll finally pass in place is equal to true. Now if I see df, it will look like the same as before, but now internally this is stored as an integer. So if I run this code again, it will not throw me an error. It will just give me the answer of 27 which I was looking for. It will just give me this 27 answer. So this is one thing you need to keep in mind. If you have any of the multi-indexes or multi-index columns as integers, when you import it from a CSV file or any other file, it will be casted as a string. So you need to convert them to integer by yourself using this set levels method. Okay, so next thing we'll look at is how we can get a subset of a data frame. Now for example, if I want subset from San Francisco AC row, from this row until, for example, this Ithaca mobile row. Okay, so what I'll do is, now what I know is internally this AC row is saved as California warehouses, San Francisco and AC. Okay, although it is showing me only AC and San Francisco here, I should know that this California warehouses is also present here. So what I'll do is, I'll just keep this data frame down here also. Now I'll say df dot locate. Now I'll pass in a tuple. The first tuple will be my San Francisco AC row. Okay, this is the starting point of my subset data frame which I want. So I'll pass in California warehouses. Second, I'll pass in San Francisco. The third layer of index which I want is AC, right? I want to start from AC. So I'll start from AC, and now I'll put a colon because I need to go from this level until another level, which another row level, which is, for example, I need to go until Ithaca and mobile. So what I'll do is I'll say, since this Ithaca, this mobile is under New York warehouses, I know that I need to pass in here New York warehouses as the first layer. Second layer, I need to, after getting into New York warehouses, I know this mobile is under Ithaca layer, so I'll go to Ithaca layer. And the third, I know that this mobile is mobile itself, so I'll just pass in here mobile. And now these are my rows, right? I'm slicing on the rows. So now I'll put in a comma here, and for the columns I'll pass in colon because I need all the columns right now. Okay, so now as you can see here, now I have just sliced the original data frame to start from San Francisco AC and end at Ithaca mobile. So this is how I very easily, in just one line of code, I just got a subset of data frame as I had wanted, basically, right? So now if I do not want all the columns, if I want only, suppose if I want only 2012 and 2013 columns, so what I'll do is I'll pass in a tuple here, because every time we are accessing a multi-index, we need to pass in as a tuple. Okay, so this is how pandas has defined multi-indexes internally. So I'll pass in here 2012 until 2013. So now we need to pass in as different tuples here, because those are different columns, right? Different columns. Hence, after this comma, everything will be taken as a column variable. So I need to pass in here 2012, start from 2012 and go until 2013. Now, for example, if I want to go one step deeper, if I want 2012 and start from July to December and end in 2013 Jan to June. So what I'll do is, inside this tuple I'll say, I bring this to a different line, I'll say go from 2012 July to December, and then in 2013 I want you to end at Jan to June. So after coming here, go to Jan to June. So you see how easy was that? So I know this is a bit tricky to understand at first, but this is basically, we are knocking at the door of each of those levels and we are asking to go from one level to another. Like, for example, we wanted to go from 2012 July to December. So we first had to go and knock on 2012's door. After going into this door, like for example, after telling 2012, the next what we wanted was July to December. So we wrote here July to December. Okay, so this is basically our entry point now. Now where do we want to stop this? Either we can remove this. So now this will be interpreted as from July to December 2012, go until the end of the data frame. But if we want to stop arbitrarily somewhere, for example, if we want to stop at 2015 Jan to June, we can say 2015, and then under 2015 I can say Jan to June here. So it will stop at Jan to June. If I do not pass anything here, it will show me all the levels which are under Jan to 2015. Now, if I want to slice only on the columns, for example, if I want all these rows, but I want only, suppose, the 2011 column. So what I'll do is I'll say df, and I'll just pass in 2011 here, and it will give me all the values for all the states, cities and the products for the 2011 year. But if I want to go one step further, I need to pass in as a tuple. So I'll just say the first layer is 2011, and after going in 2011, go to this Jan to June. Jan to June, second layer of the column. So now I have this Jan to June. If I see the name of this date of this series, this is the Pandas series now, because I am asking only for one layer of the data, for one row of for one column of the data. Hence, it has been transformed into a series. We can say, give me from New York warehouses until Texas warehouses, and then put a comma and give me all the columns. So now it will give me from New York warehouses and Texas warehouses. It has filtered out the California warehouses, because I only asked for from New York until Texas, and California came before New York in the ascending order. Now we will look at another method, another way of accessing data called the dot access method. This is basically a cross section. I'll tell you what this means. Now, for example, if someone told you, if your boss told you that give me all the rows which have AC in them, which have the word AC in them. So what you can do here very simply is, you can call df dot cross section. You can pass in AC here, and you have to specify where you have to specify to this access method where this AC will be found. Now we know that AC will be found in the under the product index, multi-index, right? So we can just say level is equal to product, and hence we gave these names to these indexes and these columns, so that we can very easily give these names of to level. You can easily say level is equal to product. Now as you can see here, now I'll show you one more thing. I'll say drop level is equal to false. Now what happens is, now you can see that I have all the ACs of my data frame at one place for all the California, New York and Texas warehouses, and for all the years and the semesters, just as I wanted. Because I wanted all the ACs and I gave the level of product, it has searched for all the ACs in the product level and given me the data frame correspondingly. Okay, so now if I give this drop level is equal to true, which is the default value, you will see that this AC, we will lose this AC column. Okay, so now if I go to my boss and tell him, if I show this data frame to my boss, he will not know that for what product is this, whether it is for AC or mobile or for TV, right? So I need to pass this drop level is equal to false. So now I see that this is for AC. Now my boss will understand that this is for AC and this is for all these warehouses and all the cities, and what was the data and what was the number of units sold for each of those years. Okay, so now, but if I want to for multiple cross sections, for example, if I want to find ACs but only which was sold from California warehouses, so what I'll do is, I'll say df.access, I'll pass in as a tuple, I'll say California warehouses, and the second I'll pass in as AC. Okay, now I'll have to pass in level is equal to, I'll have to pass in two values for levels. Here I just had to pass in level is equal to product because there was only one element I was looking for, but now I'm looking for two things here, so I need to pass in the same order. So now we know that California warehouses is under the state column, state index, so I'll pass in state first, and the second one is the AC. AC is under product, so I'll pass in product. Okay, and now I'll again say drop level is equal to false. So now what we have is, only for the California warehouses and only for the ACs for all the three cities I have this data set. So this has become quite easy for me to now check how many ACs were sold in only California warehouses, whether they were meeting my required demands or not. Okay, so now if I just call a simple sum over this, it will show me for 2010 Jan to June there were 48 units sold. For July to December there were 60 units sold. If I want a sum of all of these, I'll do an again sum over this sum. It will tell me that 1167 units of ACs were sold from California warehouses over the period of whole time. Okay, so I'll just, yeah. Now I can compare this with the Texas warehouses 1173, and I can compare it with New York warehouses 1163. So all of these are pretty similar. Okay, yeah. So I can use this to check which of the warehouses is selling the most number of ACs, most number of mobiles, and which is selling the least number. So I can work more on uh, work more on marketing in those areas where I am not able to sell more products. Okay, so this is how we can do data analysis using this data multi-indexed data set. Similarly, if I want to find only San Diego, for example, if I only want to find San Diego values, I'll say df.access find me San Diego, and now pandas will ask me where should I find it. I'll say level is equal to find it in the city level. Okay, so this will give me all the California warehouses now. So it has now dropped the city level, so I'll say drop level is equal to false. Now it will show me the city San Diego here. Okay, now I can also do this for the columns. Now for example, if I want only Jan to June of all the years, I want to see how many units were sold in the first half of the year for all the years, I'll say df.access find me Jan to June. I need to pass in the exact name as is present in the column here. Okay, now I'll say access is equal to 1, because by default access is equal to 0, so we didn't have to pass in any access here. But now we are looking for the columns, so we need to pass in here access is equal to 1, and now I need to pass in here level is equal to, so now this is the second level, right? The first one is a year level, second is a semester level. So I'll pass in here semester. So now I'll pass in here drop level is equal to false. So now it is showing me data frame of all the Jan to June semesters for all the years, okay, for all these warehouses. Okay, so I can call dot sum. So now it will tell me for all the semesters how many I sold. If I again call sum on this, it will give me 5226 units. So in the Jan to June semester for all the years, I sold 5226 units of all the items. Now if I want to compare it with how I did with the July to December quarter, 5226 and 5252, so it is pretty similar. So there was not much difference whether I sold items in the first semester or the second semester. Okay, Jan to June. Yeah, so this is how we can find a cross section of any data frame that we want. Now next what we'll look at is the take method. Okay, so it is the take method. Now how it functions is, like for example, if I want only the zeroth, if I want, suppose for if I want only California ACs. Okay, so what I see here is that California AC first is in Los Angeles, then it is in San Diego, and it is in San Francisco. So what are the index labels of all these? So internally it is 0 for the first one, the third number 3 for the San Diego, and 6 for the San Francisco. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll say df dot take, and I'll pass in the list here 0 3 6. So now what I have is California warehouses as a state, the city as Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco, and productors are all ACs. Okay, so if I pass in here 9, then 12, then 15. So internally, this take method is looking at the index position of all these rows. It is not concerned itself, it will not concern itself with what the values are for the state and cities. It will just look at the integer position of these values. If I just see the documentation by pressing shift tab, it will tell me return the elements in the given positional indices. Okay, so positional indices is important. So this is the positional value, so I'll get all the ACs here. If I pass in a 16 number, it will show me AC and mobile also, because after AC there was a mobile row. For example, the 16th, after Ithaca AC there was a Ithaca mobile, so it is also showing me Ithaca mobile now. So this is one way you can use this. Okay, now you can also use this take method on the columns. For example, I can say df dot take, give me the, for example, if I, okay, you tell me what will happen if I ask it to give me 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3, and I'll tell it axis is equal to 1. Axis is equal to 1 would mean that I am telling pandas to look in the columns now, to look for these values in the columns. So you tell me what will happen if I execute this code. Now what happens is the 0 1 2 3, these are internally saved as, this is the 0th, this is the 1, this is the second column, this is the third column. So it will give me 2010 and 2011 entire data frame, because I'm asking for these four values. Okay, if I go and ask for another, for example, comma 4, now it will give me 2012 also, but it will only give me Jan to June. It will not give me July to December, because this is 0 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so Jan to June is 4, so it will stop at the fourth index. So next what we'll look at is a slice method. Okay, not dslice but just slice. Yeah, so slice is pretty similar to .loc. What we'll do is we'll say df.locate. Now slice is used to slice a data frame according to our needs. For example, if I, for example, I'll make the data frame again here, original data frame. So this is how data frame looks like. For example, if I want only the AC and the mobile for each of these rows, for example, for each of these cities, I want only AC and mobile. So what I'll do is, I'll say df.locate. I'll pass in this row labels as a tuple as always. I'll say slice. Now slice will be expecting for the first row, it will first expect a value for the first level of the index. Okay, so now since we are not interested in slicing on the California or Texas or New York, we are only interested in AC and mobile. What we'll type here is slice none. None would mean do not slice anything, give me as it is. Okay, now for the second level I'll say slice. Now I am also not interested in slicing the cities, so I'll say slice none again. Now, but now for the third row I'm interested in slicing only AC and mobile. I only want AC and mobile, so what I'll do is I'll say give me AC and mobile. Okay, now I'll pass this in as a list. Okay, first I'll show you just one. I'll pass in just AC here and show you what happens. I'll pass in comma and need all the columns. Now what happens here is, now it is giving me all the states, all the cities, but now it is only giving me ACs, because I specifically asked only for ACs. But now if I want AC and if I also want, suppose, TVs in addition to ACs, now it will give me all the states, all the cities, because I have given slice none. But for the third parameter it will give me only ACs and TVs, because that is what I have asked for here, ACs and TVs. Okay, so this is how we can use slice. Now slice we can also use in one more way. I can say df.loc. For example, if I only want to slice California and New York, okay, so I'll pass in, I'll say start at slice, I'll say slice start at California warehouses, then stop at New York warehouses. Now how this slice works is that if the first argument, now it expects either only one argument or two arguments or three arguments. Now if I only pass it one argument, it will assume that it is a stopping argument, that this is the argument, that this is the level where it needs to stop. For example, if I pass in only New York warehouses here, okay, and I'll say do not slice anything else, just give me everything else. So now what happens here is that it is giving me all the California warehouses and it is giving all the New York warehouses. And why is this so? Because New York warehouses is implicitly present in each of these rows where the city is of a New York, right? So even in this TV Ithaca, this New York is present here, New York warehouses. So what happens is when I say slice only New York warehouses, it is giving me all the rows that it is finding until the New York warehouse, until it reaches the end of the New York warehouses row. Okay, but if I ask it to go from uh, California warehouses until the New York warehouses, and next if I ask it to go from, suppose, Beacon to Buffalo, if I only want these two, I'll say slice from Beacon to Buffalo. And now if I want to slice only from AC to mobile, okay, so I'll say slice from AC to mobile. Now if I press enter, I'll have, because I sliced only from Beacon to Buffalo, it will show me only Beacon to Buffalo, and since I asked only for AC to mobile here, it will only show me AC and mobile, it will not show me TV. Okay, so this is how slicing works. Now next we'll look at is renaming of levels and renaming of any name that you want to change. Now we can easily change, for example, if I want to change this mobile to laptop, so what I can do is I can say df dot rename and then pass in a dictionary. Like first I need to pass in the name which I want to change, and then the value of, I mean the key will be the value that I want to change, and the value of that will be the name that I want to change it with. If I now I need to pass in here the axis value. Axis is basically whether I want to change it in the row or whether in the index or whether in the columns. So I know that axis is equal to 0 because I'm in the rows now. Okay, so as you can see here, all my mobiles have been replaced with laptops here. So if I want to replace Los Angeles with LA, okay, just short form. So now LA, so Los Angeles has been changed to LA here. So this is how we can rename. So for example, if I want to rename a column, for example, if I want to rename 2010, so what I can do here is I can say df dot rename. I can pass in here 2010 and then what I want to change it with. For example, if I want to change it with 2100, 20,100 basically. Now and I'll need to pass in here axis is equal to 1, because now I'm asking pandas to look for the column value of 2010. So when I press enter, this 2010 has been changed to 20,100. So now it is your time now to solve some of these tasks that I have created here. So I would recommend and I would encourage you to pause your video here and solve all these challenges. Try to solve as many as possible. So all of these are basically based on what I taught before in this lecture. So you must be able to solve most of these. If you cannot solve, then don't worry, I will upload all the solutions on my GitHub page and I'll post a link to that in my description below, so please check that out. and there's also another data frame called the merge stocks data frame. So I've also mentioned how you can how you need to import the data frame from the data folder, and I've given two questions also. So I request you and I urge you all to solve these questions. So these will only help you in the long run, because this multi-indexing will form a very big base in the for future lessons like group by and pivoting and reshaping, etc. So if you're not clear here, you will not be able to understand those topics very clearly. So if you cannot understand something even after this video, do ask me in the comment section below. I will try to answer as many as possible. So finally, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up to this video, so that will encourage me more to upload more such videos and help you all more as much as possible. Thank you.